Here's a full PvP match as the Condition Mirage. There's no use of the spear in this build, but with the new relic of the rivers, you get alacrity and regeneration whenever you dodge, and that counts for any kind of Mirage cloak, which means it also counts on the Mirage mirrors you create from distortion. So you get a decent amount of alacrity on this build, and that allows you to get lowered cooldowns on everything. So that allows me to forego the pistol trait. I still have the chaos traits here, so whenever I interrupt someone, I get lowered cooldowns on my weapon skills, but essentially I have alacrity, which makes all of my cooldowns lower, which means my utility skills, distortion, and that's going to give me a lot of value to have map presence and to kind of have like sustain in 1v1s, even though the role is to kind of be a roamer slash duelist. I'm not going to win all my 1v1s on this build, so map control and map awareness is going to be really important. So immediately right off the start here, my team gets deleted in this team fight, and I'm being chased by a Tempest and a Warrior with a Spear, so I angle myself to get the Staff 2 onto the little, I don't know, this is a hut kind of thing here, and we're going to take the 1v1 against this Tempest up here because they're chasing me, because there's not really much else my team can do on the map, so all I need to do is just not die. But they overcommit and get bursted by my Jaunt plus Staff 4 plus F2 burst combo, and they're going to go down. I'm just going to try to create some clones on the body so I can start ramping up some condition damage, but their Druid comes in and I'm getting spammed with CCs and the Warriors on me, so now I want to create some distance for my team to regroup, because they're actually getting kills around the map while I'm holding a 1v3 here, so this is actually not that bad. So we're going to get some extra condies on this Warrior, 20 confusion stacks, and that's because of the ineptitude trait. Whenever I blind, I give confusion, and so my interrupts will blind, but also my F2 is a blind because of the dueling traits. So I do massive F2 confusion bursts, and my team arrives, so we're able to get the kill on the Warrior, and the Tempest is pretty low, so we're going to try to chase them for the kill here. Now I see that my Warrior wants to cap the node, so I'm going to let them, but they end up not wanting to cap it, so I just decap it, but they're dying to the Vengeance Warrior, so I need to interrupt, but they get stability from full counter, so I need to start rezzing so that they survive long enough, but they don't, and I believe that rallies the Warrior, so we're in a bad spot now. I need to get out, use my Sand Through Glass backwards to get some the Mirage cloaked, so I can use my Sword Ambush to get some mobility. But we're fine, we don't need to disengage just yet because we can regroup with our team at mid. I do the Jaunt into F2 into Staff 4 combo right there, and that does a massive amount of confusion with almost no reaction time for the enemy. So we're able to kill the Tempest there very quickly because they can't cleanse that very quickly. Usually Elementalists need to do a bunch of different animations to cleanse, and for that reason confusion is a hard counter to them because they trigger all that confusion while they're trying to remove it. So now that we've got that kill for our team at mid, I want to go cap far, and if they have any respawns, then I will probably want to deal with that. So their Ranger is coming in to take the 1v1, and Rangers are in general, if they're a duelist build, they are a counter to any kind of like Condi Mesmer because they generally have a lot of cleanse, and this Ranger, as you can see, they have the Signet of the Wild, or is that Signet of Renewal? You can see it on their bar. It basically prevents them from being condition bursted because it removes all conditions. So it's pretty much a counter to my build because I can't condition burst them, and they have plenty of sustain. So they've got sustain and they've got burst counter. So I'm going to eventually just leave here because I know that I've already lost the node because I have to distortion and stealth, and yeah, I've just got to leave. So at this point we've got to leave, but I do have a bunch of Mirage mirrors here I can pick up, so we'll get those because I'll get some alacrity off that. And I see that they're respawning, so it's always important to watch those respawns here because, yeah, I'm going to die. I have no cooldown, so I'm going to get out. The Ranger chases me, which is kind of nice because they're not going to full cap far, but whoever was respawning is going to cap it. I see that mid node has one tick of decap left, so I get that, and then I get out so that I can get out of combat and get my health back, right? But the Ranger is extremely thirsty, in my opinion, not the right play. So I'm just going to keep running around, trying to juke and create space for my team. I've got no cooldowns here, so when the pistol stun hits me from the Mesmer there, I just have nothing and I'm going to be taken out. So unfortunate that the Mesmer just happened to be there at that perfect time, right before my cooldowns came up. But I'm going to be taken out. We did create a decent amount of presence for our team, but in general that was a losing situation because I was in a losing matchup and the Ranger just kept chasing me. So what I need to do is I need to create pressure around the map by getting kills and rotating faster than they can rotate. So they did a good job of countering me, but I have the mobility to counter them by essentially creating momentum in fights faster than them, because I'm not a pure duelist. I'm like a duelist slash roamer build. I can kind of get burst kills in team fights, but I can also hold nodes in 1v1s for a decent amount of time. It's not that, Mesmer is not like a bunker 1v1er. It's got survivability, but not quite enough for most 1v1 matchups. So we've got mid. Our team is doing a good job actually of holding our home node, but I see that our warrior, who is being chased by 3, is almost dead. So I'm going to come in here to help them. I don't want to chase into far anymore because I didn't want to get into that losing matchup with the ranger. So I'm just going to chase this willbender, put down my staff 5 on the down body so that we get some presence to get the res. And now we can finish off the willbender here using our staff abilities and just cleave them out. Keep using our dodge to get the ambush from Infinite Horizon. And now we can see that their Chronomancer is kind of low, so we're just going to spam our shatters on them. This is a wizard amulet build, so my F1 shatter can do a little bit of damage to squishy targets. So finishing them off like that when they're low, it's possible, even though I had no other cooldowns. Now the Rangers here in mid, I don't want to take this 1v1 again because it's a counter to me. So I immediately am going to look at far, but I see that there's players there. So I'm just going to wait for my team to make a move because they're kind of dead and just let them respawn. Try to hold the enemy team at mid, but then I will eventually make a juke play towards far when the person who's on far leaves it like they just did. So I blinked while in stealth, and then I use my staff 2 and jaunt, and that's fast enough for the warrior to not be able to prevent this decap, which is pretty high value. But their Chronomancer is now respawning. I have to use my staff 2 about face and my ambush leap to get out of there, juke a little bit with the sword 3, and I'm going to leap across this gap here just to survive. I'm getting chased pretty hard constantly by whoever respawns. Their team is basically always going to, it seems like their behavior pattern is whenever they respawn, they just zerg their home node. So I have to be careful because I'm not a great 1vxer, but I am great at stalling and creating presence around the map that essentially results in the same thing as a 1vx. So instead of just sitting there and tanking the 1vx, I need to actually rotate and waste their time by mobility. So that's kind of like the playstyle of Mesmer, and why people kind of think that Mesmer is a bit difficult to play because you have to think more about the map and strategy rather than just pure mechanics and sustain and survivability. Though surviving is kind of part of your map awareness, right? So now we're going to head into mid after winning our home node. Warrior's doing a good job of capping that. And I'm going to head straight into far because I know that a huge team fight is going to erupt on mid, but our team maybe is not the most capable of taking that at the moment. So I'm going to get the decap here, but their Tempest tries to stop me. And I know that Elementalist is actually a good matchup for Mesmer, so I'm going to take this 1v1. And they're pretty low from the Confusion Burst, and I need to finish them off. So I use my Torch 4, and I need to stay on top of them so that the Burning bursts them when it ends. So there's a combo there where you do Torch 4, and then you wait for it just about to end the stealth, and then you Torch 5 plus Jaunt F2 on top of them. But I'm getting attacked by respawns again, so I have to blink out, use my distortion just to get a leap, and I'm going to leap again, use my Sand Through Glass to get another leap just to get out of combat. And me constantly being 1v2'd like that, it means that our team is getting a little bit of presence on the rest of the map, so we're able to get some kills. It looks like we're doing kind of like the same on the other side of the map, but I see that their ranger's low. I didn't chase that, unfortunately, and now, yeah, their willbenders here. There's a lot of rotations going on here, so I need to move out very quickly. I stealth after the blink, so they probably know that I'm headed towards their far node, If I would have stealthed and then blinked, it would have been better, but I needed to blink to stun break because my Torch 4 requires you to have control of your character. You can't do it while stunned. So I wasn't able to get the decap because of that. I stayed on the node a little bit too long, and now I'm being chased by the Tempest. They want to get the kill because I didn't get the decap, so there's no need for them to stay on node. I stealth to try to reposition, but I also try to get some burst off of my torch abilities while I'm using them. But I see that their Chronomancer is really low, so now I can go in for a little bit of pressure. My warrior has done enough damage, so we're just gonna help them finish this off using our ambushes. And now I'm gonna head into the far node, but the Tempest is still chasing, and their Willbender just respawned, so I wasn't paying attention to the respawns. You can see that in the bottom right when someone dies, and now they've taken me out because I tried a little bit too hard to get that greedy decap when obviously their Elementalist was going to try to stop me. So yeah, mistake on my part, not watching the map, not being aware of the respawns, but we're going to head back because even though I died, it does mean that they were investing a little bit more resources into that fight, because we were essentially 2v3 on the map, and we didn't get snowballed out of that because our warrior's doing a good job of surviving. So go for the burst here with the Torch 4 or 5 plus Jaunt F2 on their Willbender, and they go down because of all that burst damage. So yeah, in these team fights, you want to do your burst instantly, and then you want to like lock down and then move out because you don't have that much sustained damage as a Condi Mesmer. So luckily, the enemy team doesn't have a dedicated support here. I don't know if their Tempest is actually a support. It looks like they're not. But we're going to stealth and then blink in here so that we can do the Torch 5 combo in. I did it a bit late, so my Torch 4 exploded before I blinked in, but we're still going to be able to finish them off with our warrior. And that's pretty much the win. So if you like this kind of content, obviously like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.